So what you're looking at here is a neural network. You may ask yourself, what exactly is this? Well, for a few months now, I've been working on creating artificial intelligence, basically AI that can not only predict future market prices, but also trade market prices too. I'm going to show you something. Now, this AI has the potential to not only predict, but trade everything from crypto, stocks, Forex, even the housing market. I mean, I don't think it can trade, buy and sell the houses, but it can predict housing prices. In a way, it doesn't get everything right, but it gets some things right. Now, I've created what you call a Bidirectional LSTM RNN, which stands for Recurring Neural Network. Basically, what that does is it takes information in the past, and what it does with that information is make a prediction based upon previous patterns and behaviors. Now, this is what we call the EPOC loss, also known as just the loss. Now, what this is the learning rate, and the closer it is to zero, well, the smarter or the accurate the AI is. It's not really much to say on this one. This right here is the code of the AI. Well, it may seem a little complicated, which it kind of is, but this is all where the operations is going on. Now, what you're looking at here is the activity of the AI. Basically, information being transferred from one perceptron to the next. Now, it really doesn't make much sense going over this, but as you can see here, it's pretty complex stuff, pretty interesting. Now, what you see here on this page is white dots, and you may just interpret these white dots as not much, but to me it's very intriguing, it's very fascinating. And the reason why it's so fascinating to me is because this is the way artificial intelligence sees the world. This is the way it sees information, the way it interprets information. So now for the first time, I get to see what machines can see. And it's a big difference the way we see the world, I know. Now, this is the most intriguing. This is the brain of the AI. All these little dots that you see, that is the perceptrons. Basically, in comparison, our neurons. Now, this is the most interesting thing because creating this, you kind of see how the creator somewhat designed consciousness. And this breaks a lot of boundaries within philosophy and science in a way, because nobody really understands what consciousness is. Nobody doesn't understand what the mind is. You know, we haven't been long enough to really understand what a lot of things are. But just looking at this, you kind of get a somewhat of an understanding, somewhat of an interpretation of this. Looking at this, someone brings more questions than answers in a way. Because no matter what, I've always going to have questions for everything. I like to know how things work. You know, I'm just that type of person. You can call me a mad scientist. And I bet there's one question that you guys may have, and that is, why did I started getting into this type of art? Well, I like to understand things. Now, just like with anything else that is man-made, I can either do something good or I can do something bad with this. Well, only time will tell. And also, a few years ago, I created this algorithm. I call it the analytical stock nuts thesis. Now, basically, what I designed it to do was to basically do the same thing that this AI is doing, which is predict future market prices. But the thing is, it's kind of primitive because all it can do is predict, and you can only use it once. If I wanted to make another prediction or something, I had to recreate the entire formula, and it may or may not work, just like the AI, except that the AI can be updated every single minute to every single second to every millisecond to every nanosecond. It can always update, and it actually can trade for me. So I barely don't have to do anything. Unlike with this algorithm, I had to do everything, sometimes everything twice. And if you were wondering what a perceptron looks like, well, this is it. Now, the deep learning environment that I use is called TensorFlow. TensorFlow is a really good API, especially when it comes to artificial intelligence. I mean, that's what it was designed for. It came out back in 2015. That's when it was released. Unfortunately, the technology to kind of operate this stuff was very expensive. It came at a cost. And today it somewhat still comes at a cost, but not as bad as it was back in 2015. And that's why I've created the paper algorithm, the one that I did by hand, is because this technology and the courses did not come out yet. So it didn't really come out till 2020, about 4 or 5 years after it was already released. Overall, life is a big mystery. Nobody knows what tomorrow looks like. Shoot, nobody knows what today is going to look like. But all I gotta say is understanding and learning different things, it brings a sense of pride. It brings another sense of confidence. And most important, it brings a lot of wisdom and knowledge to you. Because yesterday you did not know anything, and today you know a little bit more about something. That alone is more than enough to keep pushing and keep continuing.